today. A little bit different. I'm not used to wearing wireframes, but need new Oakleys. Well guys, as I was saying last time, my wife is finishing up a table right now. She's almost done. What else do you have to do yet, babe? Yeah. Whatever that means. I have no idea what that means, but I guess it makes it done. I guess. I don't know. But it's cool. It looks really neat. I think my wife did a pretty good job with this. It looks rustic or whatever. I don't know. I'm not good with all that stuff. So, as you can see from the title, guys, I'm going to be talking about how I got classic plates for my car, what that means for the car, etc. There's a couple other things I'm going to go over too. I did find bearings for the turbo finally. So the turbo, I found bearings. I think his name was Ron Souders. I was able to find them for me. I want to say that was right. I need to look at my phone. He was able to find the right ID and OD, so the inner diameter and the outer diameter for the bearings I needed. That'll be great, so I can get this finished up now. That should be here next weekend. It's coming from China, of course, because, well, it's Precision Turbo, Chinese-made turbo. Yeah, so I gotta wait for all that to show up, and I should be good to go. I'll be able to do a how-to on putting it back together. Since I did one on taking it apart, I think that's been over a month and a half now, which seems to be a little much. Not really much you can do about that, but it is what it is. Another thing, guys, I have this fuel pump wiring. Does anyone want this? I need to get rid of this fuel pump wiring. It's been sitting in here. I have no use for it whatsoever. It's been sitting in my cabinet now for the last couple of months after I moved it and went to a bigger version of it. 20 bucks and you can have it. I think these pieces alone are probably 50 bucks alone because this is mil-spec style. But whatever, just, I think, who makes them? I want to see who even makes this. I think Tyco Electronics makes this stuff. It's a mil-spec style wiring and stuff and already sleeved. It's literally ready to go. So if anyone's interested, 20 bucks and it can be yours and I'll ship it out to you. I'm tired of looking at it. Same with this. I have a small battery tray. Don't have the top for it. Well, anyone, you can get a little piece of aluminum and bolt down, drill 2 holes and bolt it down, but this has all their harder stuff, I would say. This will fit in a Supra, by the way. My buddy had it in his for quite some time. He gave it to me and I just don't really have any use for it, so 20 bucks. There's another one. $20, guys, and this will be yours. I'm not sure how much an aluminum tray goes for these days, but 20 bucks and this can be yours. I'm not going to sell the Cusco strut bar just because I know I'm going to put that back in. I might actually powder coat that black. Just because I think it'll look a little bit nicer. But yeah, I have a few things left I need to get rid of, but not a whole lot. All right, guys, once again, from the title of this video, you can tell we're going to talk about the classic tags today. I get a lot of questions on this, more than I ever thought I would, just because a lot of people seem to have it screwed up on how this all works or what you need to do to get classic tags. Now, first off, let me be very, very clear with this. Every state is different from the next one. I'm going to speak on Pennsylvania just because that's what I've had for all these years. I've never dealt with another state. I have a couple friends that live in Maryland. My one buddy, Zach Klopper, with his R32 GTR. He actually had classic or antique tags on his GTR. And I'm not sure how it works all there, if that gets you out of getting inspections there, so on and so forth. I'm not really sure. I'm going to speak today mostly on Pennsylvania and what it gets you or what it allows you to do. So first off, the real big reason why I went to classic tags was for insurance reasons. Now, there's multiple reasons for going to it. Number one was cheaper insurance. Most people say, well, why? And first thing people say is, well, you can't drive at night. That's a big falsehood. That's not true. I can drive this all night long if I want to. That's a complete falsehood. If you ever heard someone say that about your classic tags in Pennsylvania, that's not true. That's a false statement. You can drive your car at night. One thing you can't do is you cannot drive your vehicle to work. This can never be driven to work. Now, I've gotten away with it, no one's ever bothered me, but if you're seen repetitively by the same cop, they can pull you over. You're supposed to also prove that you have a vehicle, I believe that's less than 10 or is it 15 years old, that is your daily driver. Also, when you apply for the plate, you have to send in pictures of the car, front, top, the engine bay, etc., and it has to be in a relatively stock form at the time. Now, once again, this was years ago for Pennsylvania. And I had no issues. At the time it was pretty much stock NA motor, and I sent it in, no problem, send it back to me. For this car a year, to have a set amount of 50,000, or is it 55? It's either 50 or 55,000 a year. I pay $220 a year, not a month. I pay $220 a year for a guaranteed, agreed upon value. Now, they know that the car doesn't get driven as much because it is on classic tags. They know that I can't drive it to work, which is much higher rate for someone to have an accident. More accidents happen going to work than they do anywhere else. So they know that for just that reason, they can keep the insurance much lower. Even though the car is worth X amount of money, they know that the risk is very low, and it's almost like a guaranteed value that they're just going to keep making money for literally doing nothing. I've never had to use it. The only time I've ever had to use insurance on this car is before I had classic plates, and the car actually got rear-ended. It was nothing too bad. They had to respray the car, the back half of the car at least, just so everything would somewhat match. But classic tags have been good to me. Like, it's been very nice. Like, the whole agreed upon value thing with the insurance has been fantastic. To be honest, I wouldn't do it any other way. I highly recommend for anyone else to do it, just for the fact that these cars, if you look up NADA, if you look up Kelley Blue Book, are not worth anything. And more people are paying 50, 60, 70. There's guys paying over 100 grand for these cars. And the last thing you want to do is spend 100 grand in a car, you wreck it, and Kelley Blue Book says it's worth, say, 20 grand. And you're out $80,000. It's just not worth it, guys. It's definitely look into what your state laws are. Another thing I wanted to be clear with on top of this is there's classic and then there's antique tags. In the state of Pennsylvania, you are able to get classic tags at 15 years or older. So that would be 2002, now it's 2017. So a 2002 or older vehicle is now eligible for classic tags. For antique tags, it's 25 years, so obviously 1992. I don't qualify for that yet. The car's in 95. I got 3 more years. Now with antique tags, my understanding is you cannot drive at night with those. There is a little bit more restrictions, but there's even more, help with an insurance. There's no inspection anymore. With classic tags, technically, I still need to have inspection. I don't believe I need to have a catalytic converter though with classic tags. I'm like 99.9% sure I do not need a catalytic converter or anything of that sort in the state of Pennsylvania. So that is a nice help. Now for myself, I live in a emission-free county. Pennsylvania, we go by counties where you have emissions. I live in Franklin County in Pennsylvania, and we do not have emissions in my county, so I never really worried about it. But if you are, say you're in, I believe, Dauphin County up by Harrisburg, I think York and Adams County. Actually, hold on here. Let me ask my wife. Babe! What? Does Dauphin County, or which county are you in? Is it Adams County? York County. York County has emissions. York County does. I don't think Adams County. Okay. So my wife just let me know that York County does for sure because she used to live up that way in Hanover, Pennsylvania. They had emissions up there, but she's not sure about Adams County. And I can't speak on that either, even though it's close to me, as Ski Liberty and everything is so close to me here, I went to a car show here this past weekend, which I hope keeps going, but that's off subject. So depending where you're at, that can be very helpful and useful for you. But like I said, the biggest thing for me, and the number one reason I really, at the end of the day, went to classic tags was mostly for insurance purposes, to save me money, get a guaranteed value on the car. Now, that also being said, I have an understanding that you can get classic insurance without classic tags. I'm not 100% sure on that one either, but I just think it's nice to have the classic plates. It also helps you when getting pulled over. I'm going to say this lightly. I'm not saying it's going to guarantee you anything, but I've been pulled over 3 times or 4 times now, whatever. I don't know. My wife could rattle them off because she hates it. Every time I've been pulled over, the police have always been like, they have no idea what the laws are on it exactly, and they just kind of go, just go home. Like, if I've even done something stupid, they don't know, like, if I'm supposed to have inspections, or should I have this, that, the other? Am I allowed to have a modified vehicle because of it? They just never press the button for it. So that's always been a nice little factor to have, that I don't have to really mess with it. And I don't have to worry about, like, is this guy going to throw the book at me? For the most part, they go, I don't really know shit about this. I'm not sure how this all works. So I've never really had to worry about it. And that aspect is very, very nice, especially when you're in a car and you tend to be like me and drive like an idiot at times in Mexico. It does help, and it takes a little bit of stress off of you. You know you don't have to worry as much. And usually when someone pulls you over and they see classic plates, they assume, okay, this is the car he drives every day. It makes it a little bit nicer. It makes you look better, I would like to say. Maybe I'm wrong. I like to think that it makes you look better if this is a classic car or comes off as a classic. Probably the best scenario I ever had getting pulled over with these. I got pulled over in Hanover, Pennsylvania, spun the tires, being an idiot. Cop pulls me over, talks to me talks to me for like 2 minutes, walks back, comes back, says, here's your warning. He goes, by the way, pop your hood. I want to know about this. He's like, your car's awesome. He's like, I used to have a Pro-charged Trans Am, coolest cop ever. I wish I had the paperwork inside so I have his name and stuff. Super, super, super nice guy. He definitely could have been a dick to me because it was on a main road, was spinning the tires, being an idiot, and he was super lenient towards me. Now, was it because of the plate? Was it because of the car? I don't know for 100% sure, but it sure probably didn't help or hurt to have classic tags on the vehicle. So guys, that's pretty much the gist of it. I wanted to go over it just quickly with you and kind of give you a rundown. Like I said, a couple of people have asked me about it. I highly recommend getting classic tags. I think it's going to save you a ton of headache in the long run. It makes it a little bit easier if you're like me, like I said, beating on your car. It gives you that little bit of lenience that you might want when getting pulled over down the road. Insurance reasons is the biggest. Call your local insurer, see what they can do for you. Try to get an agreed upon value. Usually what happens also on top of that, someone comes out to appraise the vehicle, because obviously someone could say, my Honda Civic is worth X amount of money, and say it's worth 100 grand, they set it on fire, or they purposely wreck it of some sort, and they're gonna get a check cut for 100 grand. This isn't like other insurances where, oh, the car appraised for this value, so this is what we're giving you. No, I have a signed contract saying if my car's totaled, they give me $55,000 cash money or in a check. That's a lot of money to be dishing out if one of these cars is totaled, and they want to make sure it's actually truly worth it, and they praise the car accordingly, and it's something they know that you're not going to purposely destroy or mess up in any shape, way, or form. So guys, thank you very much as usual. I do appreciate it. I'm going to finish my Red Bull here, of course. If you could do me a favor, go down below and check out. I have 2 companies that have been helping me a ton here the last couple months. Plus Soap LLC, they've been fantastic. I love their detailing products, been using it a ton. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I use it a ton. They work very closely with 8080 also. So great guys, great company. Also Jose Value of Kaizen Motorsports. He is the Supra guru. He is one of the first in the country to work with the VVTi head. He did Rocketman 1000 RR, which super form name. He did his car back in the day, and he pioneered that, and that's how it's, in my opinion, how it's gotten as big as it is now. So go check out his website down below also. God damn it. This is harder than it fucking looks. You know that, guys? God damn it. Babe, I can't need help. This is bullshit. I need her help. Why does my face look so weird? All right, guys, thank you very much. Go follow those websites. Go check out my Facebook and social media pages, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.